Hey, girlfriend's gone for a few days, so it's Stouffer's mac and cheese. And what to do with all this time? Well, you're in luck, because The Incredibles 2 is coming out this summer. Isn't that awesome? And if you're an old man like me, you remember the first Incredibles, and you remember how great it was. But not everybody thinks that The Incredibles was a good movie. So today we're going to be looking at the 1-star reviews of The Incredibles. Inappropriate show for young children. First off, it's a movie. I'm embarrassed I rented this for my 5-year-old son to watch on family movie night. We turned it off after the first 10 minutes, which started out with snarky comments from the superheroes and a poor fan kid getting thrown out of a car. No thanks, Disney Pixar. Please clean it up for kid movies. Well, maybe if you watched more than the first 10 minutes before giving us your annoying judgment, I'd take that opinion a little bit more to heart. Though Pixar is known for exquisite animation and for storylines that appeal to both children and their parents, I had not previously seen The Incredibles. The animation is as impressive as I had expected it to be as a Pixar product. However, the levels of violence truly came as a shock to me. The scenes where The Incredibles modeled extreme violence as a suitable way for the good guys to deal with the bad guys were quite long, reappeared quite often, and really seemed to keep pounding the point to my 3.5-year-old grandson that superheroes are little more than well-intentioned good guys promoting butt-kicking as being quite acceptable ways to deal with bad people. Are you familiar with the run-on sentence? Quite unsophisticated approach to a good guys versus bad guys movie, particularly when the movie might quite easily be mistaken as being intended to be enjoyed by very young children. Though parenting opinions about fighting as a means to conflict resolution vary tremendously, I'd think the excessive focus upon fighting merits at least a warning to parents of children younger than 5 or so. Though personally I might look elsewhere for more positive examples, even for older children. Homeschool mom of 4 wrote, "This movie talks about suicide. Stay away. Not suitable for kids." It's my son's 9th birthday, so we let him pick and rent a movie, and he picked The Incredibles. There's nothing incredible about this movie. I realize movies nowadays are filled with nastiness, violence, language, etc., but this was over the top compared to your normal kids movie. This family literally yelled at each other the entire time. You would never do that, would you, homeschool mom of 4? And there was even a part where it referenced suicide. I was appalled. And even the kids agreed to turn it off and not finish it 45 minutes in. I get that an entire movie is not going to be full of warm and fuzzy stuff, but this type of movie with this level of disrespect and even references of suicide has got to end. Superheroes shouldn't act this way, and whoever is producing these and writing these scripts, I don't even know how you can sleep at night, knowing you're exposing kids to such violence, self-harming thoughts, and demoralization. Disney/Pixar, shame on you for taking evil and violence to the next level with this movie. Please start putting some good moral content into your movies. Movies like this do not better the world. We got a comment from Luke coming in for the save. Your poor children are doomed. Incredibly awful. My mother purchased this movie for my 4-year-old son, and I am very disappointed with the content. There are lots of fighting scenes and guns in this movie. There are also fighting scenes where the Incredibles' adversaries die. We thought it would be a good movie for my son since he liked other Pixar movies, but this one made my jaw hit the floor within the first 20 minutes. It's way too dark for kids and too childish for adults. The baby bursting into flames at the end would probably give most kids nightmares. Oh. This was a total waste of money and should be completely avoided. The Incredibles was a horrible film for young viewers, with references to suicide, infidelity, and traumatized lives. This is not the kind of thing I want kids to see. I have to admit the animation is extraordinary. The story is not appropriate for Disney. Before you people rate, I suggest you read this. If you really think about it, this is a very unoriginal idea. Who hasn't seen a family with superpowers yet? I'm sure most people have. This movie only got the buys because of the fact it was 3D. This movie is way overrated. I've basically seen this movie before it was released to theaters. Thank you for that comment, Alex. Appreciate that one. I can't believe that viewers and critics gave this trash 4 stars. They actually gave it 4.7 out of 5 stars. My 11-year-old son even thought that it was crap. Well, thank God for your 11-year-old son. So what if you thought the computer animation was good? Quite frankly, Pixar has gone nowhere when it comes to improving their product. Did you happen to notice that all of the bad guys looked like Jay Leno? What's that all about? What's that all about? But the ripoffs of Marvel and DC comics were amazing. I'm surprised that Marvel and DC hasn't sued the Disney and Pixar butts. Holy mackerel, look at this novel. I won't read the whole thing to you, geez. On the basis of the high number of positive reviews and the reputation of Pixar, I bought this for both myself and my 3-year-old son. I was very disappointed. Why? I don't care how old your kids are. Nobody cares how old your children are. The Incredibles is not a kids movie. It has nowhere near the class, simplicity, humor, and sophistication of Finding Nemo or Monsters, Inc. It is an adult animated movie that deals with adult topics. As some readers have pointed out, some story topics that are difficult for children, such as death, suicide, and infidelity. But those could be forgiven if the script was charming or amusing. It isn't. Much of the dialogue is tedious explanations. The scenes go on forever with a large amount of unnecessary and unfunny dialogue. A lot of the words are simply too difficult for kids to understand. You Caught Me Monologuing is but one example. Maybe your 3-year-old son is just a moron. Difficult to follow accents don't help. And why on earth do they have a character that speaks French with subtitles? Kids can't read that. Again, maybe your 3-year-old son is just a moron. Another big problem with the film is that the main character does not learn anything or really change. He is still a whiny, grumpy superhero at the end. No, he's not. Actually, he legitimately changes. And that's not just me disagreeing with your opinion. He objectively changes his behavior. 1 star, unrealistic. I don't know what to say to you. I watch movies hoping to find a realistic view of the world. You know what? Let me be the first to tell you, Hannah. Maybe movies aren't for you. This movie is the most unoriginal, most disgusting, most fatigue piece by Pixar. I went out to the theater and watched this movie with 6 friends, and 4 of them walked out of the theater after 30 minutes. After the movie, we all talked about how the movie sucked and how Pixar was fading. Look, one of the things that I like doing when I do these 1-star movie reviews is I can give really good life advice, and you need to find some new friends, especially after talking about how the movie as a whole sucked when you only watched 30 minutes of it. You're welcome. First one's free. Oh, we're not done. First of all, the problem is the storyline. We all know that. Second of all, the CG was nothing by a blur. Third of, oh, what the heck, it sucked. That's it. And go ahead, click the no button below. I know how the truth can hurt. That's it for today's video. Tell me what you thought about the 1-star reviews of The Incredibles. This is one of my favorite Pixar movies, and I'm so excited for the second one. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my 1-star reviews of Frozen and 1-star reviews of Toy Story. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take care.